All right, I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you all for coming out. My name is Rich Brubaker. I'm the founder of Collective Responsibility, and it's great to have you here this evening for our first of 3 events on the circular economy. As a really quick intro, I know a number of you, but actually this is the first time I don't know most of you, so I'm going to do a really quick introduction. Collective Responsibility, it's a sustainable agency. We basically help firms understand how to develop and deploy sustainable strategies. And we work a lot with waste, which kind of sets up tonight's event. But we work a lot with philanthropy, CSR, all the way to waste and technical kind of sustainability, as it were. Okay, we have some clients that I'm very proud of. But tonight is really about the content that we've been developing. Since we started this, I really wanted to focus on building community, elevating the conversation around the issues that are faced away from carbon is evil, polar bears need to be saved, and climate change is going to kill us, into something that we can actually tangibly do as a group of sustainably minded, mission-driven individuals. We're actually, every month on the third Thursday, we run events on different topics. And this is the first of 3 that will be focused on sustainable consumers, really on the circular economy. The next will be about how to sell sustainability. And the final one will be on the products themselves, like what are the purchase paths, what are the products that people really want to be buying. And at the end of the year, we really talk about resilient cities and what does 2022 look like. Because if we've learned anything from the past 18 months, COVID aside, it's that China's really making a lot of progress in the policy, the economy, and then the businesses and the entrepreneurs in this space. A lot of exciting stuff happening. I'd like to thank our 2 sponsors tonight. Use Them has thankfully provided us with some upcycled, amazing products for our speaker gifts. But WeWork, this amazing space that you're in, actually I'm a tenant here and they're a phenomenal community. But if you're interested, please come to me and I'll introduce you to the community manager here. So yeah, the world's got some issues and we need to deal with them. And that's kind of like, if I'm talking to global brands or global entrepreneurs or NGOs or whatever, they're focused on these topics. For us in Shanghai, fortunately, we have more tangible issues to work with. The systems that build cities. I've been here for almost 20 years. And I kind of laugh that, at this, picture, when I first got here, there was only like 3 buildings, right? Now we know this is only half complete. If you went down the button now, there's another 30 buildings that are in view. And this is actually, Shanghai Tower being built. But the cities and the speed, size, and the size, scale, and speed of China means that every once in a while you have problems with these systems coming up to that level. And so this would be one of them. And this is going to set up tonight's event. I can talk about a lot of issues around food or air or water or education or healthcare. And those are topics that are very important. But for tonight, I really want to focus on how do we move from this into something that's more positive. We did some research. We realized that actually Shanghai, China has a great circular economy already underneath the city. If you've ever seen the Sanlunches, the individuals, the men and women on bikes taking garbage out, they provide an amazing infrastructure of an informal economy. But China's been formalizing it. And it ends up everywhere. Now, is this the best thing to happen? I think the panelists here can actually talk about that at a very tangible level. And that's why we invited this amazing panel. So speaking of this amazing panel, I will let them each introduce themselves. But we have Professor Du Dajin from Tongji University. He's with the Circular Economy Lab, but he has an amazing background in sustainability, materials management. I've seen the Google when I did that. It was great. Anders from Ikea, William from Alufun, and Jeff and Rachel from Bamboo. Each are going to be attacking this or talking about this from different angles, from policy, process, to entrepreneurs, materials, all the way in between. So I really look forward to it. I'm speaking fast because I want to make sure we get to them. But to wrap this up, we will have an active Q&A at the end. So please hold your Q&A until the very end.
Hello, thank you for the invite, Rich. I'm Anders. I'm Sustainability Director of Ikea in China. And just to be really specific, I'm responsible for sustainability in the retail part. The supply chain and product development is something else, but they are also here present in China, just to manage a bit of expectations. During this 10-15 minutes, I hope I can give you a view on how we in retail are working with circularity. So 32 stores and some logistical units, and also 3 Livat centers. We are a private company, and that's a great advantage, a great privilege to work for a company that is not only looking for short-term profit, but can also invest into the future, not least in the area of sustainability. We have a vision to create a better everyday life for the many people. And this is not only about selling furniture. This is more than that. This is about creating a better life, a better planet for us, co-workers, customers, communities, suppliers and their co-workers, and not least the planet. We have a strategy. I will not go into detail, but just to give you the frame, it's called People and Planet Positive. It came quite some years ago, but it was a real game changer for how we in Ikea look at sustainability. Before, we have always talked about reducing environmental impact, minimizing environmental impact. Now, we are changed to have a positive impact. And that kind of triggers something in your brain, more positive, more constructive, and more challenging. And this is something that entrepreneurs like, something challenging, not only defensive things. So, what does it mean? It means, among other things, that we will enable and inspire more than 1 billion people to live a more healthy and sustainable life. And we will also become 100% circular and climate positive. Everything is, by the way, until 2030. So just having said that. And also be a fair and inclusive company. So what we will zoom into today is actually this part. But also, we have global challenges, and one of them is unsustainable consumption, overconsumption, and we are part of that. We have been part of that from the very beginning. We have had and partly still have a linear business model. Take, make, use, dispose, as we saw before. But we realize that if we are going to stay in business and thrive in the future, we cannot go on working like that. There are many reasons for why we cannot do that. One thing is the scarcity of resources. We cannot keep on picking materials out from the nature. They become less and less and more expensive. And as you know, we are here to provide furniture at low prices, and so that does not match. So we need to look at what we today call waste as materials for our future products and production. So this is a great challenge, and part of the problem, part of the solution. So how do we work with circularity in Ikea? And for once I will take sort of the whole value chain perspective, because it's not only about us in retail, it's very much about how we design our products. Already there, we can determine the future, how long the future will be for that product, that material. We have developed design principles. For example, renewable, recycled material. It should be easy to assemble and disassemble. It should be possible to get spare parts. It should be possible to upgrade, to repurpose, and many other things we take into consideration already at the design stage. We are not there that we have 100% circular products today, but we are on the way, and we are determined to reach that in 2030. In supply chain, of course, in the production, we will use renewable and recyclable material and other things that can make us operate those factories and transport in a more circular and sustainable way. And not least then, the part that I am working with primarily, meeting our customers. And that is the one I will talk a little bit more about here in a minute. The overall Ikea goals is that have 100% circular products by 2030. And of course, you can maybe ask, what exactly does that mean? And maybe we don't have all the answers, but it is, for example, that they should have this sustainability circular qualities or features that the materials, the material should be renewable and recycled, and it should be easy to disassemble and all of that as well. The one that is in scope for us is to find and develop, innovate new ways for customers to acquire, care for, and pass on products. Coming back to that in a second. And then not least that we know that we cannot do this alone. We need all the good forces in society, other companies, government, NGOs, consumers, basically everyone, in order to make this move and to turn this around and be successful in the shift towards a more circular business model. So for us in retail, what are we looking at? And the professor mentioned quite some of them here. First of all, of course, we want to offer circular products and services. And again, we have products today in a range which we would classify as circular, but still, in order to have all 100% products as circular, will probably take a few more years. Care and repair products and knowledge, because circularity is also to make the products and material last as long as possible. Recycling is the very end phase. Today, it's the landfill that is the end phase, but recycling is the end phase. There are many more things we can do that. And the first thing is about take care of your products. Make sure that you oil your tabletop regularly to make it last longer. It will also become more beautiful. We provide spare parts, screws, and also bigger spare parts if something breaks. And not only, let's say, offering products, but also, let's say, knowledge. And knowledge is something that we want to share in the circular hubs that we recently have launched here in China, actually in 4 stores so far, but 2 of them are here in this city. And it's a new name for the bargain corner. But it's not only a new name, it's not only a new dress, it is filled with something new as well. To really make people more aware of the value of taking care of your products, having workshops, having seminars about how you repair, how you repurpose, how you upgrade your products. Because people don't have that knowledge today. And I'm not talking about you, but the many consumers, especially the young generation, I think, might benefit from some new knowledge around things like that, how to repair and so on. I will show a picture very soon as well. Second-hand furniture. I mean, the second-hand market for furniture in China is huge. It is estimated that around 10% of all furniture that is sold is second-hand. And where is Ikea in there? Nowhere, to be honest. We know that on this Alibaba fish platform and other second-hand platform, there's a lot of Ikea furniture. But we are not there. We are not, part of that market. And we want to be that. In other countries, we have launched something called buyback and resell, which means that we buy back old Ikea furniture and then resell them in the circular hubs or the bargain corners. And in some countries, it has become really successful. In others, maybe not quite as successful. But we are right now we are making a pre-study to see what is the appetite for buying and selling second-hand with Ikea as a partner. And also, what would make this service attractive when we already have such a good platform and system for buying and selling second-hand in China? So we need to figure that out before we launch it here in China. For example, in other countries, like in Sweden, where I come from, the customer needs to bring their old furniture back themselves. Here in Shanghai, I don't think that is an option for that many customers. We need to make it more convenient easy to use this service. So there are some nuts to crack before we take that step. But without knowing how and when we can engage in this market, I'm absolutely sure that we will at some point take a role in that, whether it's on our own or by partnering with someone else. Furniture as a service, also Professor was mentioning, maybe not furniture specifically, but I think also that in the future, and not that distant future, we will not sell, I wouldn't say we will not sell products, but we will not only sell products, we will also sell products as a service. And there are some categories of products that is not that important to own. It's maybe some categories you really want to own, like clothes and stuff like that, or at least underwear and that. But there might be furniture also that is not that important to own. It's more important to have access to. And we are looking at different forms of furniture as a service, to rent, to lease, and even to subscribe. Think if you could subscribe to your student room or to your children's room. You make the contract with Ikea when the baby is born, or maybe when the baby is 1 year old, and then the contract can last already to the day until the child moves out of the apartment or the house. And we take responsibility for that. The furniture is matched the age of the child as it grows, and that it is safe and fresh and up to date and everything like that. You don't have to worry about a thing when it comes to the children's room. It's a really interesting thought that needs to be explored further. Also, rental service. I mean, when you have let's say a wedding or a student party or whatever party, maybe you have to go and buy 50 sets of plates and cutlery and glasses and everything, and then you will never use it again. What if you can rent a set of, let's say, plates and stuff for a weekend and then return it? Of course, there are quite some challenges to solve before launching such a service, because, I mean, the logistics and everything to secure that for the next customer it is safe and hygienic and so on. But those things we need to fix. Not only we, but I think that we need to find solutions for that. And we also need to open our minds, I think. I think you who are sitting here, you are open-minded. You could consider renting or leasing or subscribing to many products or solutions. But also we see that maybe the many people, and I'm not talking about here in China in general, but people, it's a change management that we need to do. And not only talk about saving the earth, but also talking, how is this making your life better? Finally, circular material flows. Also, an Ikea store is producing waste. And what we want to do is to have 100% material recycling. I mean, of course, reuse and so on comes before, but we don't want anything to go to, absolutely not to landfill, and rather not to incineration. So we are aiming at finding more circular flows together with the Ikea suppliers. Already today we ship back the cardboard to our packaging supplier, making new packaging material, but we're also looking at other materials such as plastic, such as textiles, such as wood. But it's challenging. I think that the recycling industry has a little, how to say, there is a potential to develop the recycling market, also the whole infrastructure around it, because it can be really big differences from part of the country to other parts of the country. But we can be part of that as well in developing that industry. We are moving towards the end, and this is the next final slide I wanted to show. So if you haven't been to Beizai or to Baoshan lately, please take a look or go there at some point and look at the circular hub. And again, it's the normal, not the normal, but the new sort of bargain corner, but with much more circular and sustainability feel to it. But new is that we have a learn and share, like a workshop space where not only children and their parents, but we will also have seminars and workshops for adults around circularity. So that is really exciting, and it has been really a success so far, and we will continue to roll them out here in the stores in China. Finally, it just remains to say thank you for listening, and I'll hand over to Rich and the next speaker. Thank you.
Microphone. All right. Thank you very much.
这个讲15分钟啊，我就用中文了。那个因为我接到一个电话，几分钟告诉我说今天讲一讲，那么我就拿了一个现成的东西。我不知道是我们主要是来自企业啊。这个你要从我这边听到一些国家政策呢，大概我不是这方面的代言人。这个我主要跟大家讲一讲中国循环经济啊来龙去脉，现在大的情况是怎么样？因为刚才听了我们都宜家这些企业的，那么整个一个大洋伞的情况跟大家这个做点介绍。所以15分钟很简单，我告诉大家3个问题，一个是 why， 为什么这个会这个搞循环经济的？第二呢，在中国来说，什么是循环经济？啊 ，what？ 然后有时间的话讲讲 how， 大概这3个问题。那么 PPT 呢，我准备的英文的，所以到时候我对这个字讲就行了啊。这个 Richard 告诉我，他说能不能讲一下这个中国的循环经济跟西方的跟欧洲的有什么区别？我画了一个图啊。实际上用循环经济这个概念呢，是德国先搞出来的。他1996年立了一个废弃物的循环经济的管理法。这个概念 circular economy 跟 closed loop economy 的这个概念，首先来自他。然后呢，2000年的时候呢，日本立了一个循环型社会的一个法，对吧？那么中国是什么时候立法呢？是2008年，那正式执行是09年。那么sorry， 然后我们知道欧盟啊，它从2010年开始立了一个欧盟的一个循环经济的一揽子计划，然后每隔5年它有一个推进的。那么我画了这个线条是什么意思呢？实际上大家一讲循环经济啊，很多人都以为是垃圾处理。如果是大家都认为就是搞垃圾经济的，举手看。你认为循环经济就是搞垃圾的，举手看。啊，不是垃圾经济对吧？还是听不懂我讲的话？啊，听得懂啊。那么没有举手的，就是都不认为是垃圾经济了，对吧？那说明待会都是很支持我的观点的啊。你看啊，这个德国的立法跟日本的立法主要是处理的垃圾的回收利用，它的关键词是 recycling。那么我们今天讨论的是这个 circular economy 呢，是超过这个资源回收利用的概念的。所以我画了个线条，实际上中国的立法实际上是有点想走新路的味道，是从这个角度，对吧？所以本世纪的10年代的时候，中国是搞了一个大的一个思路。那么这个大的思路呢，我把它叫做2种范式。想到循环经济，一种传统的范式是垃圾处理、回收利用是它的主要任务。我画了个金字塔。它依次，比如说我们有二手物品的交流，然后呢有产品服务系统，共享经济的啊。那么传统的垃圾处理的主要集中在下面，这个占比例是主要部分。但是中国呢不是这个概念，中国搞循环经济是这个倒的金字塔，它要从生产跟整个 供应链的源头，而不是排放的最后的废弃物的排放口开始收减，要从生产、设计、加工、制造全过程里面减少垃圾。所以我把它这个叫做是避免垃圾的一个套路。原来这个呢是垃圾出来以后处理垃圾的一个套路。如果我讲清楚了，只有15分钟，我没办法跟大家解释很多。这是2种套路啊。所以中国人的起点呢是要走这个套路，但是今天社会上很多人都是认为这才是叫循环经济。那我把它这个叫做这是垃圾经济，这才是要中国人要强调的循环经济。啊，那么如果去看这个时候，你看国家政策就有2个指标了。如果是搞这个的，它国家的政策指标主要是资源化比率，废弃物排出来以后回收利用的比例多大，它用这个东西检验这个垃圾经济做的成效。然后它的目的是什么？减少到填埋场跟焚烧炉的那个废弃物。然后它另外一个指标就是到填埋场、焚烧炉的这个垃圾减少了，这就是成功了。所以它用这2个指标来判断它。那么如果这是我们讲的循环经济是这个 model 呢，那么更加源头了。它要判断什么？它不是判断出口，不是判断 output， 而是判断 input。input 的资源输入有没有大幅度降低，然后判断单位资源的 GDP 或者我们企业的单位 GDP 的那个产值啊，是不是能够提高？那么如果这个我想这个是 EMF 的一个图啊，跟我刚才讲的意思是那个相近的啊。EMF 呢做了一个欧盟的一个图。如果说它搞传统的 business as usual 传统的经济，那么资源的进口的资源消耗是这个线上去的。如果搞了那个 circular economy 循环经济呢，资源就可以把它压下来。所以这个缺口就是通过循环经济啊，能够避免的资源消耗。那么这个下面的道理也是一样的啊，一样的。那么如果我不知道我这样讲清楚了，如果你是搞垃圾经济，考虑的是排放口的废弃物的减少跟处理；如果搞循环经济，目标是进口的资源能不能把它降低、压低，然后呢后面产生的废弃物减少，这是避免的一个思路。这是我讲的这个第一个问题，中国为什么要搞这个？我片子没给大家放，大家可以看40年来中国的资源环境消耗啊，那个是居高不下，所以目标就是要把它压下来。只有8分钟了，我没办那个。好，这是第一个问题啊。然后第二个问题，我讲一下什么是中国理解的。经常把循环经济呢，我们叫做3个 R， 对吧？就 reduce、reuse and recycling。那么如果你处理垃圾呢，它主要管那个 recycling。但是我今天把它说，中国讲循环经济的这3个 R 呢，变成3个循环。你看，这是这个原材料进来，变成加工的生产资料，生产资料以后变成产品，产品以后到消费者这里边的使用，然后这边到消费完了以后，生命周期完了以后扔出去，对吧？那么扔出去就是你要处理的。那么最简单的一个 recycling 就指的废弃物的循环，所以这是一个 loop， 把这个 loop 这变成什么？2次的再生资源，这是循环经济最低端的、最入门的。但是我们讲循环经济，仅仅停留在这个是不够的。然后到了第2个 loop， 这个 loop 是从产品的过程，没有通过物理、化学、生物手段，实际就产品的原型或者它的部件加工成为一个新的一个产品，对吧？它没有经过废弃物的破碎，直接变成一个新的产品再使用了，这个叫 remanufacturing， 对吧？或者叫2次用品的再用，不是废弃物的再资源化。所以这是第2个 loop。第3个 loop 呢，就是我们这边的 WeWork 了啊，它没有卖房子给企业，它是共享的工作空间，所以我们把它叫做什么？叫做不卖产品卖服务，提供你的工作 空间的服务功能，对吧？那么你就看到那个所谓共享经济啊，那个各种各样的互联网平台，滴滴也好，Uber 也好，对吧？都是那个第三个循环，第三个 loop， 那个应该是第一个 loop 啊，就是他那个不卖产品卖服务。那么下面我给大家中外看一个例子，对吧？我大概没有几分钟了，那个中国的这概念啊非常大，中国把3个reduce、reuse、recycle 呢覆盖在你们肯定讲过碳中和了，对吧？我们覆盖在工业、交通、建筑、食品以及其他农业行业空间。所以中国的第2个循环经济规划是非常宏大的，不是废弃物处理，不是你今天看到的塑料垃圾这个回收、禁用啊、一次性包装的禁用啊，这只是最下面这一段。所以你看看这个简单一点，3乘5就有一个很大的一个发展空间。有的企业就在这里面做工作。那么下面给大家看一个例子，最简单的一个废弃物回用，我们叫那个上下循环，把一次性塑料杯加工成为牛仔裤啊、毛衣啊，这就是增加附加值可以变成产品的，不是废弃，这是一种。那么在中国呢，有一个银创回收，那个中国的例子啊，我中外都各举一个例子啊，那个是银创回收，变成小区里面回收你的分类的回收，它去加工成为产品的，这是一类。第2类呢，你看复印机、湿热都很熟悉的，它是这个0的废弃物排放，所有的部件回过来以后加工成为复印机的新的产品。他说我的部件就可以不用再用原生材料去制造了，我不但的去可以开发新的产品，但是我不需要这个文为的线性这个经济的过程的一个全部的传统模式了。那么中国有没有呢？你比如说那个淘宝的闲鱼，他就把2次用品作为一个交流的，不是废弃物，这个比废弃物的循环呢要高一个层次。那么还有那个企业的，比如说造汽车的，他把所有部件拿过来，有95%以上再充当流水线，重新这个组装一个汽车，对吧？耐用品都是可以这样干的。这个我是今天晚上我特别强调的，这不是废弃物处理啊，这是第2种。第3种呢，那个欧洲的 Elex 瑞典的，它不卖洗衣机，卖的是洗衣的功能。洗衣机你不用买，洗衣机的产权是企业的，你使用的是洗衣服的干净的功能，所以你不用掏钱买洗衣机，你只要支付洗衣服的使用的费用。你到欧美去可以看到马路上的许多洗衣房就是这样一种这个共享型的一个产品。但是中国人呢是一直以为拥有才是现代化的生活模式，所以我们每个家里面都有洗衣机，这是另外一种，这种是共享的最高层次的。那么中国现在有个什么例子呢？我讲一个，你走出马路就可以看到的，对吧？共享单车，共享单车一直有争论。2016年那个共享单车出来以后，我就使劲给他认为，因为我研究了好多欧洲人的生产服务系统，叫做 Product Service System， 但是都是欧洲人的例子。那么16年摩拜单车出来了，大家都琢磨摩拜单车是什么？摩拜单车自行车是他制造的，但是他没有卖自行车，卖的是骑行的服务，所以他不卖产品，卖服务。我不知道我这样讲你能理解吧？对吧？可惜的是，我们政府跟政策没有把循环经济概念用进去，结果马路上堆满了过度投放的自行车，所以用现行经济的思路来对待循环经济的一个产品，这就是我们马路上可以看到的，对吧？但是中国的原意是想一步一步，刚才3种循环。好，我要收尾了，还有5分钟啊？哦，那好啊，你给我时间多，谢谢你。那么我就讲 how 了啊。刚才我讲清楚 why what， 讲 how， 大家都明白 how 就是要3方，那个是政府、企业、别人的事 consumer， 这3方必须合作。3方呢合作起来，从消费端到供给端到政策的驾驭端就合起来了。那么今天我们看到，相对于那个碳中和、碳达峰呢，这方面做的还不够。问题在哪里？ 那么这是3个都应该干的啊。我给大家看一看，中国政府呢，虽然提了一个很好的框架，过去几年来在操作的时候，仍然把循环经济等同于模式 A， 把它当作垃圾经济，所有政策的力度都是画在垃圾上面的。当然，他做垃圾的时候，他做了几个比较好的，他分了3个层次。第一个 level 是单个企业的 level， 回收你的废弃物；第二个 level 呢，就是产业园区，你的废弃物是我的供给链，形成一个共生链条，叫生态产业园区。第3个是一个城市的大的社会的一个循环，对吧？这是中国跟欧美不一样的模式，就是3个，对吧？三种模式，政府。那么我们要问政府，现在你看到政府在干的是最多，那么他干的最多的就是塑料垃圾的禁用跟处理，所以它基本上是最入门级的那个废弃物的回收。我希望待会你们可以更大关注更上游的避免垃圾产生的这种政策应该怎么样，对吧？这是政府这一端。那么企业这一端呢，搞循环经济啊，有4个创新。企业可能是开始是过程改进，然后呢，它产品改进，然后呢，产品换一种替代掉了。刚才说我们自己买的自行车是一次性使用的，对吧？或者是属于你产权所有的，用那个共享单车，那就是产品换种了啊。然后呢，变成一个系统性的集成呢，那个是包括汽车也好，我们叫系统创新。但是企业现在创新比较多的，都是原有产品上面做点改进，在这个线里边。所以中国的循环经济企业呢，我举例子举的最多的只能举点静脉产业，就直接处理垃圾，把废弃物变成新产品的，可口可乐也好，那个可能宜家可能这个层次要高一点，它因为它是这个旧的东西拿过来以后再买新东西的，待会他们机会会讲到，对吧？所以今天企业在中国你看到的静脉的企业比较多，高端的产品服务系统的共享经济的举的还不够多。我们企业教科书里面看到经常这样。好，最后收尾了。你可以看看，实际上循环经济有好多类型，贯穿它的整个这个是生命周期，从它原材料选择、加工、延长生命周期到回用，到中国在这个余国土里边发展最多的是废弃物的一个回收利用，这个是发展最多。这些空间都是存在着很多机会还没有发展的。那么反过来呢，最后一个看看消费者未来一个走向是什么？消费者要从一个追求拥有的，变成追求共享的，追求个人使用的，追求集体使用的这么一个模型。那么现在我们企业呢，这个消费者对这种需求是蛮大，但是对循环经济的概念不够，对吧？这个包括宜家也好啊，怎么样在推广产品的时候，让消费者这个能够理解你的新理念，推动这个社会，是3个方面都要注意的问题。这是我要讲的 how。那么我就讲这样3个问题，非常简短啊，我不知道能不能给大家讲清楚了。
So I have to admit that he had the most unfair task because one, as a professor, I used to be a professor as well. 21 hours of content into 12 minutes is an awful task. But also just the amount of framework. I mean, this is the challenge. I think his, industry, food and bev, retail. You look at that. There's so many things just within this one slice of sustainability to tackle.
So we're Bamboo. We're low-tech, low-impact products that we make out of renewable materials. And we'll give you a snapshot of our story, which is a long story, but it starts in the great Pacific Northwest, back in the United States, where both Rachel and I are from. Nature, our roots are here. Nature is a big part of what inspires us as humans and what inspired us as entrepreneurs as well. Our corporate careers separately, Rachel working for Nike and myself in advertising, promoting fast food and sugar soda, brought us to Asia in our corporate careers and naturally brought us closer to our favorite renewable material, food.
All right. All right. right. So while I was working on the footwear side at Nike, I was a little, over time, I felt like we were putting out a lot of product, and I felt perhaps maybe unnecessarily so. And so I thought, all right, I want to have a bigger impact on how decisions are made. And so I joined corporate responsibility on the environmental side out here in Asia and tried to affect some change, educate. And I learned a lot. I think for both of us, our corporate careers really gave us some great foundation for the work that we do now. But while I was in CR, we had the opportunity, to hear from some wonderful people in and around the world of sustainability. And this is when I first heard this statement, "There is no away." And that was a pivotal moment for me, a profound a change of life, and I realized, it's not enough to just put something into the garbage. It's not enough to maybe even back then recycle. We needed to take responsibility, and so I thought, well, it's time to move on. So I left Nike, and we got into startup, and we thought, where do you begin? And for us, it was about material. And so material really does lead us.
And so we worked on and decided we wanted to create a business that really reflected our own personal values, so that our business values linked to what was important to us as individuals. So we are a purpose-driven brand, and really built around the idea to reduce our reliance on plastic by creating great green products for the home, for outdoors, for on the go, with minimal impact, using renewable materials and responsible business practices. So that really became the anchor point for us, and the starting point from then for us building our business plan. And the foundation of which we work here in China is really all about supporting. Go ahead. Here's essentially, our supply chain model, and we are a material-centric business, and it starts with materials. Most product companies start with consumer insights or an unmet need. We kind of turned it around a bit because we were really inspired by the natural materials that for the most part are all local here in China. In the manufacturing side, we have a very small manufacturing footprint. We work direct with a few suppliers. They incorporate wastewater recycling and low energy use in the making of our products. Packaging that we use, again, we established an initiative to remove all plastic from our packaging. Staples, tape, any bits of plastic ties. A few years ago, we just revamped all of our packaging. So it's minimal packaging using recycled materials. But as a retail brand too, you need packaging to form certain objectives. So the packaging piece of our business is always a challenging one, and it consumes a lot of our brain power.
In fact, our packaging probably I spend more time designing and developing simple packaging and spend as much time on the packaging as I do the product. So again, the materials, what's available, leads are the decisions that we make along the way.
Transportation is a big part of our business. We neutralize all the carbon emissions that we generate through the transportation and shipping through our carbon fund partnership. And then, it doesn't stop there. We often say it's more than a product. So we think about, how are our products used, how are our products disposed of, recycled, or renewed.
So before we get into materials or want to explore a new concept or a product design, we think about the end of life. So our purpose is to take care of that product from beginning to end and to be able to hit on all of these points so that we can feel good about what we are putting out there. These are some of the renewables that we work with, and in some cases, not renewables, but also waste byproducts. The example here with the coconut, we do a little bit of cotton blending with hemp, agave, and this is Tampico and Palmera, so we're using plant-based derivatives. This is a cork tree. And then this is also bamboo, which for us, probably about 80% of our product line is made from bamboo. It's our poster child for renewables. There's so much to be explored with this amazing material. The majority of the materials we do work with are here, growing in the wild. I guess that's about all we want to do there. These are some examples of the products that we make. Products for the home and kitchen, trays, utensils. We make a lot of spoons. These are one-piece products fashioned out of bamboo, no glues, no lacquers. We have a very brown product line because we've moved away from color. And here, I'm going to let you point. Yeah. This is one of our more iconic products. It's our spork, half spoon, half fork.
Rachel likes products where you can use it more than
two for one. So
the spork is an iconic product of ours. We've been making it since we started in 2003, and it's one of the most popular. It is actually, as this illustration shows, it's actually made from waste. So as we're making spoons and cutting boards and other bits, oops, did I just do that? Low tech, as I said, we're at some things going on here.
You went one too far, man.
Thank you. So this illustrates in a fun way, what we can do with even waste, just by thinking about how we use the material differently. A corner, an edge, we can make a product, and as you can see through the process, this little guy then comes to life that would maybe normally ended up as waste. And I don't know if we mentioned, but back to our material sourcing. Material is sourced locally. We get organic certification on an annual basis. So I think we're one of the few companies to do this. And it involves people going out to a source which is in the wild and tracking the material to ensure there's no chemical pesticides used in the process at all. And then our products are also tested for food safety before they get to the consumer.
There we go. Another product that we produce, this is also bamboo. It is peeled directly from the bamboo culm, and it is a product that maybe in another talk we can talk about some of the challenges that we face around producing single-use products. So this is a single-use product, and for some time that, and it still does, niggle at me, and I don't feel 100% comfortable about this product because of its disposability. One of our mantras, and something that's really important to us is making products that last for a very long time. The spoons you saw earlier that we developed early 2000, we still have in our kitchen. So that's 20 plus years this product can last. When you're making a disposable product, I felt very strongly that we needed to take responsibility for the end product and embarked on Compostability Certification. So taking responsibility for the end of life. When it does go into a compost or a commercial compost, it's turned into mulch and other composts and then resold.
And as Rachel was explaining, this is kind of the life cycle of our veneerware compostable plates. So again, certified from the beginning. They track from Bamboo Mountain, and we have a few workers making them, and they go to different markets, then they go back into the soil from where they once became.
A piece of our the material that we use with us, so you can really get an understanding of like the challenges that we have working with raw materials, and that's part of the fun. And when you consider the fact that nature really is providing an opportunity to us, why not work with whatever exists? And so for us, this is the challenge. This is the fun part. This is our raw material. This is what it looks like when it's been cut into sections. There we go. This is a raw shape for what's going to be a spatula. And then at the end of that, it looks like this. So there's a lot of handwork involved in this. We have a community. We've been with our producer groups, one's from the very beginning, and the other, 12 years. So I think Anders talked about community. I think community's really important if we're all going to embark on this, because it's going to take a community to make this work. These are not individual efforts. We need each other to be successful. So that said.
Very well said. Thank you very much. Speakers don't get comfortable. I just actually met William last week in a little room like that, and we started talking about the work that he is hoping to do. He's already working with a very large Chinese company in the building material space, but he's also pivoting into the furniture space as well, product as a service. So he's going to be talking about that, the startup process, and maybe hopefully some of the challenges they've been facing and what they're trying to fit through. So. Yes.
Actually, my name is William. Chinese name is Yao Wei. And actually, I'm the founder and the CEO of Elephant. And before that, I've had roughly 12 years in supply chain management across different industry, FMCG, pharmaceutical, and retail. And I got some of the certification in supply chain management. And I have an MBA degree in Peking University in Beijing. Actually, my hometown is Beijing. Every week I travel back and forth, but my company here is in Shanghai. In general, what we're doing, actually we are a new startup company since last September, so it's quite new, roughly 9 months. And we're based in Shanghai, and so the headquarters, small company, but headquarters here in Shanghai. And what we're doing, actually, back to the loop 1, 2, 3, we try to do a lot of different activity in loop 1, actually. It's the advanced model of the circular business. So we try to lease some of our furniture to our customer. But actually the furniture here, what I mean is not a furniture in Ikea. It's furniture for business space. It's not for home furniture. And also we do some sales for the furnitures. So the targeted customer, from our perspective, is majorly in retail, something like a fashion industry, and they have running a lot of shops in the shopping mall, and also hotels, and also F&B, etc. So this is the targeted customer for our business. And the objective, actually, in short, is we'll try to make sustainability as a profitable business. So this is actually in general what we're doing right now. So maybe this is not right, but here in general we show what is Alifan. Actually, we are B2B company. We are doing furnitures. We're doing business furnitures from the design to manufacture, and finally to recycling. So the recycling means we get all the furniture back from our client's shop or hotels or rooms back to the factory. So we reuse some of the part, and the rest we were just recycling as a raw material. Because the major core concept is we are using aluminum. And aluminum is a material for recycling, actually. It can almost 100% be recycled. So it's not like a wood or steel. It's cheap, it's very light, good for transportation, and roughly 660-degree metal point. So it's very easy to recycle as a raw material. And meanwhile, a lot of mechanical construction connection design was developed. So then it could be easily get a lockdown system for all the furniture. Then that means we can standardize the module in different applications. Sorry, I tried to skip this page, but in short, the message here we try to demonstrate is, yeah, a lot of.
This one or next one?
Okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll continue. So about the aluminum, maybe you have all your ideas and image of the products. For example, okay, I try to skip to the next page. Yeah, so I show some typical aluminum products here. You can imagine the windows, the airplane, the phone, laptop, Tesla, Coke. All this is kind of different kind of aluminum, but this is not us. This is not Alifan. What we're doing here, this is Alifan. So this is our portfolio catalog. Some of the case here, for example, the stair. This is a true stair in my exhibition center located in Minhang. So just invite all of you have time to pay a visit, and we can understand what is aluminum we can do. And for some tables, chairs, walls, even bar counters, a lot of application, and it's maybe some of the product we are beyond your imagination. So I think that's the magic of aluminum material. So how we run the business? Actually, at first I would like to share some of the state of quo of the furniture industry, business furniture. First, wood and steel, majorly as the material from design and manufacture. But also you see that so many shops in the shopping mall. But the reality, the lifetime of a typical shop is only 3 to 4 years. That means every 3 to 4 years, there will be a redecoration of the shop. So that means all the old furniture will become a waste. And typically, people or brands spend the money to handle the material, the waste material, because the wood part almost cannot be recycled. And the steel part can be recycled partly, but it's very costly. So that's the waste, and also harmful to the environmental. And for us, what is our commitment to address the problem? First and foremost, we try to improve consumer or clients' awareness of what is aluminum's advantage. So that's the reason why we set up an exhibition center in Minhang. It's roughly 600 square meters with a lot of application and showcase of the aluminum material and products. And secondly, we try to develop a profitable recycle model based on this material. That will be some further explanation later. And third, we explore various potential of aluminum in product design, from the surface treatment to the connection part to the different function design. And finally, we try to develop an innovation-driven commercial and technical solution. From commercial part, we're talking about lease and rent. It's a big, huge topic because it's relevant to the finance, to the risk management, to the logistic, to the connection system or recycling system. So that will be a challenge facing right now for us, but I think we are trying to do some exploration in this area. I will share some of the, actually this is a core, we call it a core loop for our business. And I love this page. We develop this page and show what is the cycle of aluminum material and how it impact to the carbon. But for this page, actually I'm not very sure the name of the some professional 名词, 专业名词, I'm not sure, so I show another Chinese page. It's better for you to understand, also better for me. So actually from the beginning, all the material of aluminum come from the mountain, the stones, and then get a lot of electricity consumption to get 原生铝. This we name it primary aluminum. And then some of the production process, we get the material, like sheet or some alloy, different kind of aluminum material. And then we have the mechanical production, we have the surface treatment, and then we get different kind of final product, terminal product. For example, a chair, a light, a Coca-Cola, can, all this kind of end product made by this process. So typically this is finished here for some other material. And what we're trying to doing right now is we develop the system for recycling all the waste of the material. And then we get the waste aluminum. And then we get the, we name it the secondary aluminum after the process. And then we get the raw material again. Then we have the cycle, we have the loop. So this is the core, we name it the green loop for us and also for the industry. And then some data, this data is sourced from CNAL. It's the 中铝协网站. So it's a public website that gives some data we can show. For 1 ton, that means 1 ton kg of the secondary aluminum, the consumption of the energy is roughly 95% saving versus the original or primary aluminum. And 3.4 tons cost saved, 14 tons water saved, and 20 tons solid waste saved. So that's the magic of this cycle, and this is the magic of aluminum material. And during our practice of our business, actually, in the past 9 months, we have so many dialogues, conversation with our customers or potential customers. We get some feedback or their views about the carbon reduction in their decision. The good thing is quite a positive impact, especially for some leading company. But sometimes they also have concerns for product quality and also the increased cost of management when discussing the carbon reduction solution or some climate-friendly designs. So actually, we try to have some initiatives to overcome that. First, we build up the exhibition center in Shanghai and host different kind of design events to promote the material. And also we develop a standard system to enhance the recycle ratio of the material. So that means we're starting from the very beginning. We're starting from the design of the very basic system of the furniture. And establish a recycling system of aluminum furniture. Of course, this is how to say, it's a big, huge topic. it's not owned by the company, but also government and also some of the communities. So we try to have a collaboration with some other parties, especially with some big company which have already set up a similar system for recycling. For example, we have a partner, name is Huaxin玻璃. It's a #1 glass manufacturer in China, even in Asia Pacific. So they have a big, huge networking for connecting, for recycling the glass. So we have collaboration to connect or recycle another metal material. That means I don't need to spend time or resource to invent a wheel ourselves. We try to have some cross-boundary collaboration with other parties. And meanwhile, we are trying to develop the models to quantify the value of the carbon reduction for our customers. Surely the challenges, clients are typically lack of perception of this material and a maturity of the recycling system in China, lack of a mature model to calculate the carbon footprint. Maybe this is a topic I can learn from professor later for this topic. And also, most of the time, people or clients have a budget concern for this material because typically aluminum as a metal looks like more expensive, but it's not necessary. So we have to have a lot of conversation and design for the customers. So finally, last page I show you our observation from the end of last year, actually the 30-50 goal of China. We see some impact to our business. First, it's really enhanced the whole industry's intention and forced to build up the aluminum recycling system. We see so many new startup companies in aluminum area to get recycled aluminum in only half a year. So I think this is the impact from the policy in China. And also government start to provide the support to the recycling system, especially the waste in terms of the tax and some financial resources. And it also gave us a chance to explore and develop some new business model, like leasing or rent. And we also see that it's really improved the public awareness of the recycling and the circular economy. For example, that even my younger kids, my son started to recycle his toys because the teacher told them that we need to have a green planet, we need to have a better tomorrow, clean air. And I think this is a kind of the education since the young baby. And maybe 5 or 10 years later, we are in a new age of the green planet. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.